So let's welcome Ilkka Paananen, the CEO of Supercell. Onne.
Thanks very much. Good morning. So today we'll talk about the next generation of online games. And we at Supercell strongly believe that the next generation will be all about social. Well now, quite a few of you guys might now think that, so what's the big news here? What's the big difference? There's been an entire industry called the social games, which is all doing well, and it's been on top of a Facebook platform for a few years now. We at Supercell, we believe that there's an irony here. We believe that the current generation of what are called social games on Facebook platform aren't really that social. But we are equally convinced that the next generation of games will be all about social, and the transition will happen very quickly. Let's see. So briefly about Supercell. So Supercell was founded on top of a vision that the consumption of games, the time and money used on games as a whole in this world, is moving quite quickly away from the game-specific hardware to the more casual platforms. And by the casual platforms, we mean platforms like the smartphone, the tablets, and the web browser. On top of that, we think that the product-based model will soon be over, and most of the games will actually be these sort of cross-platform services, games which you can access from almost any place, anywhere, with any device you want. And even more so, the consumer expectation will be that the games will be first free to play, and the business model will be shifted towards the free to play model, which is monetized by the virtual goods. We have this fairly bold dream. Supercell wants to build a bridge between the harder core MMOs in the market, the likes of World of Warcraft, and the casual social games on Facebook, where the leader apparently right now is Zynga, and that is of course before Rovio will launch their product on Facebook. But anyway, we want to build a bridge between these two worlds. So wouldn't it be great if you could somehow combine what's great about World of Warcraft? So the average lifetime of a user in World of Warcraft, it's calculated in weeks. It's calculated in years in World of Warcraft, whereas the same calculation would be done in weeks on the social game side. And apparently those users also monetize very well, so people spend a lot of money. So very high engagement, high monetization. And then it's very apparent what's great about the Facebook platform. It's the wide reach, as proven out by guys like Zynga. And as I say, we would like to combine the best of these two worlds. And it's a bold dream. Yes, we are fully aware of that. But we think that we're making some good steps towards making it a reality. The company, before it turned its first anniversary in less than 12 months, it was able to raise more than $15 million of funding from the world's leading investors, the likes of Accel Partners, London Venture Partners, etc. We also got to more than 1 million users in that time. Right now we are 45 employees, and what's really great about our developers is that we have a great mix of backgrounds, ranging from AAA console to social and to mobile. So let's talk a little bit how the evolution of social has so far gone on the Facebook platform. So I've divided this into 3 phases, which I'm calling early social, mid-social, and then something that I'm calling social 2.0. And starting with early social, I'm sure you guys all remember this, like how it all started on Facebook. And interestingly, the vast majority of games on Facebook still follow this pattern. So essentially what you're playing is a single-player game, a solo experience. But that game is trying to think all the possible excuses for you to draw in all of your friends to that game. So you have this concept of if you want to, for example, finalize a building, it'll finalize quicker if you invite 5 friends. You are basically sending resources back and forth with your friends. So there's this kind of very kind of a limited amount of interaction, and it's like in a traditional sense, you are not really playing the games together with your friends or with other users. So it's essentially single-player games, but viral boosters attached on top of that. Right now, the industry, I mean, obviously it has recognized this, and it's moving quite quickly into a little bit sort of a more interactive direction. So there's been a sort of a launch of games recently which have introduced kind of player versus player battles or these types of gameplay elements. There the idea is that you can actually, for example, attack another player or do something like that. But still, it's a fairly shallow experience, so, and there's really no true interaction. And what I mean by that is that, for example, a great example would be Zynga's Empires and Allies, a fairly recent game by them. If I attack a friend, there's hardly anything I can do to improve my chances of winning that battle, apart from spending, of course, a little bit more money or inviting my friends. But there's hardly any gameplay still involved in that. But we think that for this industry to take the next massive leap forward, there's going to be this concept that we are internally calling social 2.0, and it's mainly going to be about two things. So first, in this era, users will actually be playing with each other, and I emphasize the word playing, not sending just resources back and forth, but you can literally play with the other users, in many cases in real time. And why that is important is that via that kind of real-time interaction or like a deeper interaction with the other users, you can actually start to make real friends via the game. So you actually meet new people. And I'll come back a little bit later in this presentation why that will be crucial for the success of these games. We at Supercell, we of course intend to be at the forefront of this transition. And today is a great day for us, as today we will see the launch of the first real-time multiplayer game on top of a Facebook platform. The game is called Gunshine.net. We've been running an open beta on that game since early June this year, and been through an intensive amount of beta testing, and been developing the game together with our users. And today is finally the day that the game is about to launch. What's really cool about this game is that you can play it both on top of a Facebook platform, but it also runs on its own destination site. So we're kind of offering our users the freedom of choice to access the game from wherever they want. But to give you guys a better idea, the ones of you who haven't been participating in the beta of the game, let's take a quick look at the trailer. So that's the game, and the kind of a leading design principle behind that game is that we wanted to create a game that it's much more fun when you play together with your friends and when you play together with other people. So we wanted to kind of create a new type of like social online role-playing game. And we actually think that games like Gunshine, they will redefine what is meant by the word social in the industry of social games. And to illustrate this, let me tell you a quick story. So I went to the game maybe 2 days ago. There's an area called the Pirate Bay in the game, and in that area there's a nightclub. So I walk into the nightclub with my character, and all of a sudden I kind of see what you might see like here. So there's maybe it was good like 40, 50 people in this nightclub, most of them on the dance floor. And I was starting to, like, what kind of struck me is that, like, what are all of these guys doing here? And why on earth do most of the male characters why have they taken their shirt off? So, okay, I walk into the dance floor and ask somebody that, hey, what's going on here? It's not a dancing game after all. And this guy says that, why, what a stupid question, we are having a party. And basically, it turned out that somebody in the game had invented this concept that let's throw up a party in that area of Gunshine, and to kind of top it up, there's no fireworks in the game, but basically people were using their weapons and you know, skills and stuff that they had used either like a real money on or had like used their hard-earned like in-game currency, and people were actually shooting off their weapons in the dance floor just to create a little bit more atmosphere in that. And here's the key point. That was not designed into the game by us. We had absolutely nothing to do with it. But because the game is inherently social, your users start to create content for you, and that's the best possible content you can get. And then via events like this, again, we had nothing to do with it. People meet with other people, and that's really, really important, because that's the kind of the number one reason why you start coming back to the game. So why is this important? So obviously we've done a fair amount of research in the beta period of the game. And here are a couple of interesting learnings and statistics. So first of all, the number one reason cited by our users, why do they keep coming back to the game? It's not actually the game, it's the other users, and it's the people who they met via the game. This is great news because it leads to much higher level of engagement and retention. And by the way, when you look at those figures, when we say active friend, we actually mean friends that you really do play with. When we say active session, that's a session where you actually do move your character. It's not something that you just run on the background. And it also runs the best possible news from business perspective. It leads to very high level of monetization. I've been in this industry for a while, and I would argue that the games like Gunshine, they can easily do 3 to 4x the average monetization of your usual kind of a social game that you are seeing these days. And this is just the beginning. So there's some research on the kind of the volume of the platforms. By the end of next year, there should be more than 1 billion smartphones out there. There should be more than 100 million tablets sold in that year alone. Facebook already says that they have 200 million monthly uniques just playing games on top of that platform. And it's only going to get much, much better as all of these devices will be connected to Facebook and people are expecting to consume entertainment on them. So I've been in this industry for 11 years, and I've never been so excited about where the industry is headed. And I think it's particularly interesting for the startups over here, because the big guys will have some difficulties adjusting to this kind of level of disruption. So it's a great opportunity for all of us. That's all I had. If you want to follow on what's going on at Supercell, there's my Twitter, and feel free to get in contact either today or via email. Thanks very much.